Today we're diving into 10 underrated fantasy and romance anime that slipped past way too many fans, even though they deliver magic, chaos, awkward flirting, questionable decisions, and pure emotional damage in the best ways possible. Let's fix that. Kicking off with number 10, Brynhildr in the Darkness. If you love dark sci-fi mixed with messy romance, emotional trauma, and plot twists that feel like the author said pain is good, then this one is for you. Brynhildr in the Darkness follows Ryuta, a guy who meets a mysterious girl who looks exactly like his childhood friend, who, plot twist, died years ago. And not only is she alive, she's now a witch, because of course she is. Anime logic refuses to rest. The show throws superpowered girls, secret labs, moral dilemmas, and a level of sadness that feels illegal. Every episode hits you with "oh wow," followed by "oh no," and then another "bro, why?" Ryota basically becomes the manager of a group of girls who can either save the world or explode on the spot. No pressure. Is it chaotic? Yes. Does it jump between cute moments and emotional destruction like it's training for the Olympics? Also yes, but it's weird, gripping, emotional, and absolutely underrated. A flawed gem, but still a gem. This is Emiverse Anime. Watch this video to the end and hit that subscribe button now. Sliding to number 9, Town Dandelion. Imagine living in a world, well, I can't say imagine, but you get the point, where your daily life is broadcast on national TV because your dad is the king and wants the citizens to vote for which of his kids becomes the next monarch. That's the wild energy of Town Dandelion. We follow the 9 Sakurada siblings, each with their own superpowers and enough personality to run their own shows. Akane, the painfully shy sister, is basically 3 seconds away from passing out every time a camera looks at her. Which is hilarious, because her entire life is filmed like some royal superhero reality TV. The show balances wholesome family vibes, goofy powers, awkward crushes, and political shenanigans with surprising warmth. It's light-hearted, funny, and somehow still manages to drop moments that hit your feelings when you least expect it. If you want something wholesome but not boring, chaotic but not stressful, and sweet without being sugar overdose sweet, this one deserves your attention. Most people slept on it, but you don't have to. Landing on number 8, Dragon Crisis. This anime is the literal definition of chaos enters your life in the form of a tiny dragon girl who imprints on you and calls you her everything. Ryuji's life is basic until he accidentally rescues Rose, a dragon girl who decides the world revolves around him. And honestly, the commitment is impressive. Dragon Crisis blends romance, adventure, and supernatural powers in a fast-paced way that feels like the creators tried to fit 3 seasons into one. You've got magical artifacts, rival dragons, childhood friends who absolutely did not ask for this love triangle, and Ryuji trying to handle it all like a dude who just wanted a normal semester. Rose is adorable chaos. The villains range from mildly annoying to bro, relax, and the world building is surprisingly solid for a show most people forgot existed. The romance is soft and sweet, the action scenes are clean, and the drama hits just enough to keep you watching. It's not perfect, but it's fun, energetic, and deserves way more love than it got. Plus, the dragon transformations, elite. Looking at number 7, MEGATON Musashi. This show is what you get when mecha anime says, you know what, let's crank everything to 11 and refuse to slow down. MEGATON Musashi takes place in a world where humanity is nearly wiped out, and the survivors are told a whole fabricated story about what really destroyed Earth. Because apparently lying to everyone is plan A. We follow a group of teenagers piloting giant mechs to fight alien invaders, and the series mixes heavy emotional moments with stylish action scenes. The mechs don't just punch, they punch, with sound effects that feel like someone slapping metal sheets together in surround sound. The romance comes in little doses, but it's actually cute, not forced. The characters have real chemistry, especially with all the secrets, trust issues, and wait, our entire existence is a lie moments. And the world building? Surprisingly rich. If you love mecha but want something modern, flashy, and packed with heart, this one is massively underrated. Even its dramatic scenes feel like they belong in a much bigger franchise. People missed it, but you shouldn't. Dropping to number 6, Phantasy Star Online 2, the animation. This anime is based on a game which automatically made some fans dismiss it, but honestly, It's a fun blend of sci-fi adventure, school life comedy, and hey, the world might be ending, but let's bond anyway. The story follows Itsuki, a student forced to play the PSO2 game for research, which is the funniest assignment ever given by a student council president. As he gets deeper into the game, things start getting weird. Like the game might be connected to real-world disasters. Weird. Suddenly, the virtual enemies feel a little too real, and Itsuki has to juggle school drama, game missions, and growing feelings for certain characters. The romance comes with a light touch, but it's meaningful enough to add flavor to the plot. The show is basically a love letter to gaming culture, with a dash of sci-fi mystery and slice-of-life comfort. Some people skipped it because of the title, but it's way more engaging than you'd expect. If you're a gamer or just love hybrid genre anime, you'll vibe with it. Rolling into number 5, Persona 5, the animation. Yes, the game is a masterpiece. Yes, the anime gets roasted by hardcore fans. But guess what? If you're into stylish supernatural action, messy teen romance, and a squad of rebels calling out corrupt adults, this show still slaps. We follow Ren and the Phantom Thieves as they jump between normal high school life and a reality where people's hearts manifest as twisted palaces. The mix of fantasy and psychology is still awesome, and the friendships feel strong. The romance options? Listen, there are so many that Ren could probably start a workshop called How to Accidentally Charm Powerful Women While Doing Crimes. The anime's pacing is fast, but that actually works if you want the story without the 100-hour grind. You still get the iconic masks, the stylish transformations, the emotional arcs, and the we will steal your heart attitude that made the franchise legendary. Underrated? Definitely. Imperfect? Sure. Still worth watching if you love fantasy, romance, and rebellion? Absolutely. Sliding into number 4, Tales of Zestiria the X. If you like gorgeous visuals, rich fantasy worlds, and characters who look like they stepped out of an RPG loading screen, this anime is calling your name. Tales of Zestiria the X delivers big magic, epic landscapes, and a story about purifying darkness that feels mythic. Sori, our pure-hearted main character, becomes the shepherd, a mystical figure destined to stop malevolence threatening the world. He's joined by Miklo, whose bond with Sori has the emotional intimacy of a romance, regardless of what the script says. Their dynamic carries the series, and fans know it. The action scenes are pure eye candy. Ufotable animated this thing like they were trying to win a trophy, and every battle feels cinematic. There's adventure, soft emotional moments, political drama, and a sprinkle of romance that blends naturally with the journey. It's underrated mainly because the story switches perspectives and confuses some viewers, but once it clicks, it's magical. Seriously, it's one of the prettiest fantasy anime people keep forgetting about. Landing at number 3, Granblue Fantasy, the animation. This one feels like turning pages in a fantasy storybook that somehow came to life, with dragons, sky islands, magic, lovable characters, and enough charm to fill a whole airship. Gran sets out on a journey with Lyria, a mysterious girl with huge magical power, and even bigger, everyone wants her captured energy. Their bond is adorable and drives the emotional side of the show, and the journey feels warm and nostalgic in a classic JRPG way. You've got party members joining, secrets unraveling, villains with dramatic speeches that feel like they practiced in front of a mirror, and beautiful scenery. The romance is light but sweet, especially with how gently the show handles emotions. The fantasy world is massive, colorful, and filled with friendly and unfriendly creatures, and the sense of adventure, peak comfort anime. A lot of people slept on this show because they assumed it was just a game adaptation, but it's honestly wholesome, fun, and beautifully animated. But trust me, number 3, it'll mess with your head in the best way possible. Dropping to number 2, Chronicle, the Light of Haecceitas. Fantasy fans who crave darker tones, corruption themes, and big ensemble casts should not skip this one. Chronicle takes place in a world where the Black Army is spreading despair like it's a seasonal discount, and the heroes are just trying to keep hope alive. Yuri, the main character, starts off as the noble leader type, but when things go horribly wrong early in the story, the plot shifts into a gripping tale of redemption and rebuilding. The fantasy world is thick with lore, magic, demons, enchanted forests, and a whole continent at risk. Romance exists in subtle moments, and while it's not the focus, it adds emotional weight to the characters' struggles. The show balances epic battles with real heart, and the soundtrack hits harder than expected. This anime is underrated simply because it didn't get mainstream push, but the story is surprisingly emotional. The action scenes are sharp, and the stakes feel genuinely dangerous. If you love fantasy wars mixed with human connection, this one's calling. Finally, number 1. The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel Northern War. If political fantasy, complex world-building, and character-driven drama are your thing, welcome to an underrated masterpiece. This show follows Lavian, a young soldier trying to clean her family's name while dealing with military politics, impossible missions, and a world already torn by war. She's strong, determined, and painfully relatable, especially with how she tries to stay loyal while questioning everything around her. The romance is subtle but impactful. It builds slowly through trust, tension, and shared danger rather than cheesy cliches. The fantasy world is massive. Ancient artifacts, deadly beasts, magical technology, and nations fueled by pride and rivalry. The battles are intense, the animation's solid, and the emotional moments hit harder than expected. It captures the weight of war without losing the personal connections that make it human. This anime deserved way more attention. It's mature, dramatic, richly built, and filled with that bittersweet flavor fantasy fans love. A perfect blend of story, emotion, and world building. And that wraps up today's countdown of underrated fantasy and romance gems you probably skipped, but absolutely should watch next. Drop your favorite picks in the comments, tell me which anime surprised you most, and hit that like button if you discovered something new. Don't forget to subscribe for more anime lists every week.